Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 97th Rome Total War Brotherhood battle that I put onto YouTube. And this is an unusual battle, as this is a rematch, something I haven't done before. If you saw Battle 96, this is the follow-on, the rematch battle. The only change is that RTW player Piper had to leave the game, and the co-founder of the Brotherhood, Conan, actually came into the lobby, so he's in the team I'm in. And OTD Pen G4P has gone on to the other team. So that's the only changes from the first battle. So the team I'm in today consists of Brotherhood member Conan, who has bought the Rome Julio faction. Heaven's Clan member Mohammed, who has also bought the Rome Julio faction. And myself, unusually, has bought the Seleucid faction. Not very often you see a Seleucid faction on a 31k battlefield, but I just thought I'd bring it to something a little bit more interesting. So there's our team there, full of experience, and this should be another good battle for you to watch. At this stage of the battle, I thought I'd just show you my very old, ancient Seleucid army. This army is probably from maybe 7 or 8 years ago, and I used to bring this army when an enemy team member bought Germania. So let's have a closer look at it. As you can see, I've got the Silver Shield Pikemen there, and each one of those pike units I've got a stripe, an experience stripe on, as well as gold. So that makes those pike units pretty tough. If you notice that I've actually got, I think it's a Silver Shield Legionnaire unit there as my general. Now I've noticed that I've actually maxed that general out. So he's got actually 9, he's got the full 9 upgrades on there if you count the banners. So that's a fully maxed out Seleucid infantry general there. I think I use an infantry general because the Seleucid morale is not very good. So to keep the general with the pikemen, I think was a good move because it keeps the morale good. As you can see, I've got 4 archer units here. Seleucid archers are not very good, but I bring them because their pikemen are so susceptible to injury from archer fire that I brought 4 units. And here we have the infamous cataphract heavy tank cavalry, as we call them, the tanks of the ancient world. And if you notice, I bought 6 units of them, and they've all got I think they've got an experience stripe on and gold. So there's my very old, as I say, 7 or 8 year old Seleucid army that I've resurrected to bring into the modern era to see how well it does against modern players. Should be good to watch. And here is the other team. We have OTD PEN G4P, RTW player who's bought the Germania faction. We have Heaven's Admiral, who has bought the Rome Brutii faction. And we have Heaven's Cornovi, who has also bought the Rome Brutii faction there. So that's 3 good players there. As I say, I brought the Seleucid, that old Seleucid army, to face the Germanian army, so it should be a nice little tussle to watch. At this early stage of the battle, you can see that Conan is using old school tactics here, and that is he's using his cavalry general, which is fast and hard hitting and difficult to kill, to attack the enemy archers. Did you notice there that you hit those archers? Germania now are trying to chase him down with their heavy cavalry, but because that Roman armour general is so light, kind of thing, it really moves fast, and the heavy cavalry can't chase it. Can you see how Conan's turned around there and smashed into those 2 archer units? Wouldn't surprise me if he routed. There you are. He's routed both of those archer units there, and the heavy cavalry are still trying to chase him down, but he's just managing to keep out their waylet because he knows that that Roman cavalry general will just keep outrunning those heavy cavalry. As I say, it's unusual to see a Roman cavalry general brought to the 31k battlefield these days. It's usually an urban cohort, but I would say 7, 8 years ago, 9 years ago, bringing a Roman cavalry general was the normal thing to do. So it's nice to see a bit of old school there by Conan. And you notice how he's using his experience here to carry on killing those archers, because he realised that they would probably rally. So what he's done, he's carried on killing them until there's only a few left and they won't rally then. So there's Conan showing his RTW experience there. Nice move there. If you notice here, I've formed my Seleucid army up behind my Roman allies there, as all I really want to do is, with my pikemen especially, is to shadow the berserker units, because if those berserker units hit Roman armies, and I'm sure a lot of you have seen that, they can cause mass routs, especially with cavalry and those chosen axemen charging in at the same time. So what I must do is keep an eye open for those berserkers with my pikemen there. There's an overall picture of the battlefield. You can see that Germania now has moved over to our left flank, and there's a lot of enemy cavalry on our left flank as well. So looking at that, what I'm thinking is that there could be a massive attack here on the left flank. I'm just going to pause the game here so we can take stock of the situation. As you can see, Conan is doing a flanking action over on the right there, and has moved round the right flank to threaten their flank there. So that's a nice little move by Conan. Those archers of his have been killing loads of enemy troops there as they're moving. Meanwhile, we're over on our left here, we can see the Germania army here moving round. Let's just have a closer look there. There's those chosen axemen who are effective against armour, and actually can cut swathes through Roman troops there, obviously because they're heavily armoured. And here's the infamous berserkers, and these berserkers are based on real historic characters. The real ones were either took a cocktail of drugs, or were drunk, or maybe even had mental health problems, and even out of battle these men had an aura about them that people tended to not want to socialise with them, and they kept themselves to themselves. So and on this battlefield their aggression is very well portrayed, because they've got a fear factor that they can cause enemy troops to rout, and they're effective against armour as well. So the berserkers are a force to reckon with there. Plus you've got the German cavalry as well, which is also a force to be reckoned with. So it'll be interesting to see what happens on this left flank. As you can see there, I'm moving my Seleucid army across. I'm not so much watching the chosen axemen, but I'm watching those 3 berserker units. That's who I'm really looking forward to, because obviously if berserker units charge onto waiting pikes, the berserkers will die. So that's why I've got to watch where they go, so that I can get my pikemen in position to be able to stop their attack. And here you can see, this is another panoramic view of the battlefield here, so you can see how the 2 armies are set out ready for the next phase of the battle. At this stage of the battle, you can see that Germania is now taking his army over to the centre of our line there, with a view probably to hitting our Julii ally in the centre. So I now have got to make sure I move my Seleucid army across, but watching those berserkers very closely. If you notice, you can see those 3 berserker units, and I'm just shadowing them with my Seleucid army there. And there you can see our Julii ally is charging his cavalry in there. That should take a few of the enemy units out. Right, if you just noticed, the berserkers have been activated. Can you see their banners flashing red on and off? So those berserkers have now been activated. I've got to move fast now, move my Seleucid army fast, and get my pikemen settled down with their pikes down, ready for that hit. If I don't do that, there's a good chance that my units can start routing. Okay, I've just got there. I see that the berserkers are just charging in. I just hope I can get my pikes down in time to stop that. I felt I was a little bit slow at getting across there. I should have been a bit faster, but it looks like I'm okay at the moment. The pikemen seem to be doing their job. As you can see, the pikes are really holding there. And also, don't forget, I've got my general with my pike units there as well. So he's giving them the general morale bonus. So that's going to help them against the fear factor of those 3 berserker units charging in there. If you see, Mohammed's also got our Julii infantry in between mine and Germania as well. so that kind of cushions the blow. Did you notice that the enemy Brutii infantry are coming out round the flanks of my pikemen? Now obviously he knows that the vulnerable part of a pike formation is the flanks and the rear, so he's bringing his units over there. If you notice, I'm moving one of my rear pike units over to cover the flank, but also can you see my tank cavalry, my cataphracts are ready to charge in. Now look at the angle that I'm charging them in. I'm not just going for those Brutii ones, I'm hoping to rout other units that are attacking the front of my pikemen there. Can you see the angle that the cavalry went in, and bang, bang, bang? Can you see all those enemy units starting to rout there? But I don't want to really tangle my cavalry up with those berserkers. I'll leave those berserkers to die fighting my pikemen. So I'm going to move my cavalry out to see where else they could be best used there. You see, I think the last of the enemy berserkers and enemy troops have been killed facing my Seleucid army there. So I'm going to up spears. You notice how I've upped my spears so I can run my pikemen forward. New players to the game, if you keep your pikes down, you can only walk. But if you raise your pikes, you can then run your infantry round. Can you see how I'm charging my cataphract cavalry into the rear of the enemy troops there? 6 units of tank cavalry going in there. It takes a lot to stop, especially when it's hitting them in the rear. And if you notice there how many of the enemy are starting to rout there with that cavalry hit. That's like a hammer and anvil attack. You notice my allies, the Julii, were the anvils, and my cataphracts were like the hammer. So that's a great hammer and anvil example there. So I've got all my pikemen over there as well now. But if you notice, I'm not going to put the pikes down because some of you may know friendly pikes kill friendly cavalry, and there's several units of friendly cavalry knocking around. I don't want to kill them with my pikes, so I've just moved my infantry over there, and if necessary I'll attack with just swords on that. You can see the dead on the battlefield here in a line, the lines across there. The first thing I'd like to say is really well played to everybody in the game. It was a great battle to be in. I thought the other team played extremely well, but if you notice, once again they haven't got that high kill count, and that was because of the aggression and the way that we attacked there. Once again we didn't give them time to kill our troops. If you notice how many troops I started with and how many I've still got left, I lost less than 200 men in that battle. So this Seleucid army of 7 or 8 years ago can still seems to do quite good on the modern battlefield, and I was quite pleased with how well it did. My teammates Conan and Mohammed played extremely well there. There's some massive attacks going in, some great strategic moves, really well played to them. And as I said, well played to the other team too. There's lots of great moves going on there as well. So that's the rematch battle over. So you've seen the first battle and the rematch battle, and I just thought it's something a bit different to try this Saturday, and I hope you enjoyed it. And as I say, both battles were great to be in and well played to everybody in the game. I hope you enjoyed them and look forward to seeing you soon, and bye for now.